What is up, everybody? Welcome to DFS by the Numbers. This is my main event breakdown and prediction video for UFC 294. We have Islam Makhachev taking on Alexander Volkanovski 2.
I need all the wins, yeah. Harder than all that is. You better move, you might get knocked out. Knocked out. You better move, you might get knocked out. Knocked out. You better move, you might get knocked out.
And we are back for another main event breakdown and prediction video this week. We are breaking down the main event for UFC 294. Islam Makhachev taking on Alexander Volkanovski for the second time here. And I'll be honest, I was really looking forward to the Charles Oliveira Islam Makhachev rematch. But, since that fight did fall through, I think this is kind of the best case scenario in terms of it's a fun fight. It's a very exciting fight. I'm looking forward to it. Obviously, I would prefer Alexander Volkanovski to come in on a full camp, and that is not going to be the case. He has taken this fight on very short notice for a title fight, so shout out to Alexander Volkanovski for stepping up. That is definitely not something that a lot of people would do, and he's going out there and he's doing it. So yeah, shout out to Alexander Volkanovski for pretty much saving UFC 294. A lot of people even think that the card has gotten better with Alexander Volkanovski stepping in. We have Kamaru Usman stepping in. And you can't really argue. I think the card probably did get better. I'm really looking forward to the Hamzat fight. I'm really looking forward to the main event. So, but yeah, going to be breaking down this fight here. We'll talk some betting, get my prediction. Before we get into it, if you guys can please do me a favor, leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel. I'll be posting more UFC 294 content throughout the week. I'm planning on doing a co-main event breakdown, Kamaru Usman, Hamzat Chimaev, and then my full card breakdown and prediction video will be out on Tuesday. I still have a couple more fights to tape, but that'll be out Tuesday at the latest there. All right, but yeah, I say we get into it here. We're going to start on the Islam Makhachev side. He's 32 years old, 5'10", with a 70.5-inch reach, 24-1, and 5-0 in his last 5 fights. Alexander Volkanovski, 35 years old, 5'6", with a 71.5-inch reach, 26-2, and 4-1 in his last 5 fights. Both guys have incredible records. Both guys are incredible fighters. Islam Makhachev's the younger guy, though, 3 years younger for Islam Makhachev. Islam Makhachev's obviously the bigger guy, the natural lightweight, whereas Volkanovski's, coming up a weight class again. Islam's going to be 4 inches taller, and I think that was evident, the size advantage that Islam had. He looked a lot bigger than Volkanovski, and it's actually Volkanovski that does have a 1-inch reach advantage, believe it or not, there. So we'll take a look at the odds for this fight. And we have Islam Makhachev. He opened up minus 200. He is currently minus 265. And we have Alexander Volkanovski, who opened up around plus 170, and he is currently plus 225 there. So one thing to mention for this fight is that these odds are closer than the first time these guys fought. And I want to get the exact odds on what these were. I think Islam Makhachev was around like minus 350, minus 360 in their first fight. And this time around, like I said, we have a little bit closer of a fight there. So, and rightfully so. So I went back and watched the fight, and I think it's very important to do so. And I remember the fight being very, very close. And I went back and watched the fight, and my thoughts are, I think it was a close fight. I think it was a competitive fight, but I think it was one of those fights where it was just very easy to score. I personally scored the fight 48-47 in favor of Islam Makhachev, obviously giving Islam 3 rounds, giving Volkanovski 2 rounds, and a judge actually did even give Islam 4 rounds to Volkanovski, only getting 1 round, which would be that 5th round. And I can't really argue that too much, but I personally did think, Volkanovski won 2 rounds of that fight. But yeah, it was a competitive fight. I think it was, minute to minute, very competitive. But what I noticed was anytime that Islam was able to take down Volkanovski, secure position, as in, taking his back, that was the round. If Islam's able to get to Volkanovski's back, the round's over or the fight's over. I do think Volkanovski's submission defense is on point, though, so I don't entirely see Islam finishing Volkanovski. Maybe he does, but I kind of lean towards if Islam's able to take the back, like that's the round, and Volkanovski's kind of in trouble there. What I think is very interesting is the fact that Volkanovski has taken this fight on short notice. So I saw an interview on Twitter the other day where, Volkanovski came out and said that he's taking the fight off the couch. He says he has nothing to lose, which I kind of disagree. I mean, he kind of has something to lose. I mean, you don't want to go down 0-2 against Islam Makhachev here, right? But he's saying he's taking the fight off the couch. I don't really like hearing that. But obviously, I don't think he's taking the fight off the couch. I think Alexander Volkanovski is more than prepared, but obviously it's not a full camp, nothing like that. So I think it's going to play out about the same, but to be honest, I feel like we could see a more maybe dominant win for Islam Makhachev here. Like I said, went back and watched the fight. A lot of people thought that Alexander Volkanovski won the fight. I'm not sure if they had bets on Volkanovski or what, but I think it was a really easy fight to score. Islam hurt Volkanovski a couple times in the second round. Islam was able to take his back in a couple rounds, and then obviously Volkanovski won the 5th round. So yeah, I think it was a pretty easy fight to score. So yeah, I gotta go Islam Makhachev here. If it was Volkanovski taking this fight with a full camp, then it may be a little bit different. But even then, I think I would still pick Islam Makhachev to win this fight. He's the much bigger fighter. He's the more natural lightweight. I think he will be able to get to Volkanovski's back, and that's the key thing. I think he gets to the back, and if he gets to the back, like I said, Volkanovski really doesn't have an answer. His submission defense is great, but he doesn't have an answer in terms of he's going to stay there the entire round and lose minutes getting his back taken there. And I was actually impressed with the striking of Islam Makhachev. Alexander Volkanovski is pound for pound one of the best strikers, if not the best striker in the UFC. I mean, Alexander Volkanovski's striking is incredible. Alexander Volkanovski is going out there and out-voluming guys like Max Holloway, and he did it in all 3 fights. I mean, Alexander Volkanovski's striking is ridiculous, and Islam Makhachev was semi-competitive with Volkanovski. Like I said, he hurt Volkanovski a couple times early in the fight. I think it was the 1st round he hurt him bad with maybe a knee. I mean, Islam Makhachev's striking did not look too terrible there. So in terms of the strike numbers, Volk outlanded Islam 11-10 in the 1st round. It was tied up in the 2nd round. It was Makhachev that outlanded Volk in the 3rd round. Volk outlanded Makhachev 6-4 in the 4th round. And then I guess the best round for Volkanovski was that 5th round where Volkanovski did outland Makhachev 20-8 there. So yeah, I think it was competitive early. But as the fight went on, we did see Islam start to slow down, which, I'm curious to see what kind of shape Volkanovski is going to be in for this fight. But I kind of have a feeling he will be able to go 25 minutes, no problem. I don't think that's going to be an issue there. But in terms of how I see the fight playing out, pretty similarly. I don't really see a finish on either side. If there is a finish, though, I think it's probably Islam getting him out of there. But it's so tough to finish a guy like Volkanovski there. I'm kind of leaning Islam by decision. I think he can win minutes with the grappling. And I don't think the striking is going to be like a wash in favor of Volkanovski, because Volkanovski is going to be so worried about the wrestling, the takedowns, right? And that's going to stifle a lot of Volkanovski's offense there. So in terms of the line, Islam Makhachev -265. Alexander Volkanovski +225. I feel like we are disrespecting Volkanovski like a little bit, but the fact of the matter is he has taken this fight on short notice, which I'm not a big fan of. But I'm happy he is. I'm happy he's saving the card, but I don't really like that in terms of his chances of winning. And in terms of right now, we only have over-unders for props. I would lean over, but I mean, -180 for the over 4.5 rounds at this point. The only thing that would scare me about the over in this matchup is the fact that Volkanovski is taking this fight on very short notice, and it's a 25-minute fight up a weight class against a much bigger guy in Islam. But I do lean the over. I think Alexander Volkanovski's next level tough. His submission defense is incredible. We remember the Brian Ortega fight. I mean, this guy it's going to be very hard to submit a guy like Volkanovski, and very hard to knock him out as well. So I'm kind of leaning Islam Makhachev by decision. I think maybe the Islam Makhachev decision price may be a good way to get this price tag down a little bit. But yeah, I like Islam to go out there and win this fight. I think Volkanovski potentially steals a round or two. I don't think it's going to be like a 50-45 type situation. I don't think it's going to be a crazy beating there. But I think it's going to be another fight where it's competitive. But it's clear who the winner is, and I think the winner is going to be Islam Makhachev there. So Give me Islam Makhachev to win this fight. I'll take him to win by decision. There you have it. Let me know who you guys have down in the comments. Let me know if anybody's on Volk, which I'm sure people will be. I would potentially think about it if he was on a full camp, but I think even then, if he was on a full camp, I think I would still go Islam. So Volk coming in on short notice, just another reason I do like Islam in this matchup. So give me Islam. Be on the lookout for more content throughout the week. Leave a like on your way out. Subscribe to the channel. And can't wait for UFC 294. Best of luck, guys. Talk to you soon. See you.